Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome back to the 53206 cast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Meg.
And Meg.
Yeah.
This podcast.
It is.
Meg, it's a little different today. We typically record in the house next to us, but today we are recording in our own house.
And it brings me to that our kids have not done their chores. I see a lot of things are still in the living space, so I'll have to get on them today.
Yeah, they're probably not going to do their chores.
They are going to do their chores.
Yeah, maybe. But Meg, I don't know if you remember this, but we've been doing this podcast for 5 years, something like that. It was kind of funny. Somebody mentioned to me or reminded me that I have a podcast.
Yeah.
When I was out doing my normal life.
Okay.
And sometimes you just forget.
Yes.
You forget that you put these things out into the world. You publish something and a piece of content maybe, and then people can access it at any time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is I guess the point.
It's
the point of doing that. But we've been doing this podcast, for it's at least 5 years
since 2020.
All right, so is that 5? Does that work for
5
5
and a
years?
half? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's 2026.
yeah, it is. Well, so when we started doing this podcast, for a while, for most of it, we've recorded in the house next door to us.
Mm-hmm.
But the very beginning stages of it, we recorded in our own house.
Yeah, we in the sitting room.
Yeah, a room that we sometimes sit in.
Yeah, it's not really good for much else, so we call it the sitting room.
Yeah. But then quickly we shifted to recording at the house next door, which was owned by a woman that
we call her Miss Maggie.
Yeah, she lived there. She was one of the first people that we met, or probably the first people first person we met in the neighborhood, and then subsequently her family members. We typically record over there, but I went to go. This is probably a week and a half ago. I went to go get into the garage. Mm-hmm. And Meg, I'm terrible with paying the electric bill.
You are terrible. Yes, there's been many days where I'm working and all of a sudden the power goes off.
Yeah, and I know, listeners. Yeah, I get it. I can put it on. I can put it on auto pay. I don't trust the auto pay, and I have I've heard from multiple people that the auto pay. They'll just start deducting. I don't trust them. I don't trust.
They'll start deducting more than
than what is supposed to be. So I like to actually pay it. I look at the actual bill.
Okay.
And I see okay, does this make sense?
Sure.
And they don't mail it to the house anymore, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I also don't. Well, I get an email, but then I get
you have
6 emails all in the same day because it's 6 different units that we've got. Whatever. Well, anyways, I don't trust the We Energies. I'm sure they're great.
They're out to get you. Okay, they're out to get you.
They're not out to get me, but it's just my sister had a problem with it.
Sure.
And sometimes they'll say well, they couldn't take a reading, so we just guessed what your energy usage was. And it's well, yeah, nobody goes in there, so how do you know?
Okay,
whatever.
So you go over there.
So I go to get into the garage, and I can't get into the garage because, I'm figuring it out. But I try to get some. I think I'm trying to build planter boxes at this point. So I'm like, okay, I got to get into the garage. I got to load up this trailer. I got to do this and that. All the wood for the boxes for We Got This is in the garage. So I got to get in there, and I got to do my boxes.
Yeah.
I can't get in. On the outside of the garage is a keypad, and the keypad, is like an opener.
Yeah.
But it needs electricity to work.
It needs electricity.
And I can't get into this garage because it's packed so full of stuff.
From the other side.
Yeah, from the back,
which
is fine. I don't care if I can get. I don't need to get in and out through there. I just go through the big door in the alley.
Yeah.
So now I'm in my head trying to troubleshoot. Well, why would the garage door not?
First option would be you didn't pay the power bill.
Well, that would be my first. My first thought was, did I actually pay this power bill? Because the second half of the building, I did not pay the power bill, and they just shut it off. Which honestly, I'm kind of fine with.
Because we don't use the upstairs.
I haven't even noticed that. I haven't noticed anything that would make me think, oh, I should probably keep this power on.
Yeah.
Just kind of a waste. So, all right, I'm cutting it. I'm not going to have the power on the upstairs.
You're really showing
Someday,
me energies.
Well, I mean, kind of.
Anyway.
Whatever. We don't need to get into the We Energies billing structure.
Philosophy.
It's fine. It really is fine. I don't really care. Although I do not understand how never mind. I'm not going to get into it.
Okay.
All right, just for a second. How are they advertising? Why is this company? We only have one choice for our power.
We do.
Energies.
Yeah.
It's a monopoly.
Yeah.
It's a monopoly. It's
Yeah.
fine. I guess it's an okay monopoly, but I don't understand how they are like. Why are they sponsoring stuff at the Brewers games? Like, I'm just paying for you to sponsor Brewers activities.
I don't know how
Whatever.
sponsorships works with
Whatever.
companies.
I don't love it. It's fine. I'll pay it.
Yeah.
Whatever. It keeps
Yeah.
going up. Fine. I think whatever. Well, actually, I won't pay it because I did.
You won't pay it. Yeah.
So my first thought is, okay, well, I didn't pay the power bill. So I go and like log into our account, and it doesn't say that it's been disconnected, and it's supposed to tell you that it's been disconnected. So I think, okay, so I pay it anyways.
Okay.
Because I'm like, okay, I guess I should pay this.
Sure.
So I do pay it. Then I go outside and I look at the meters, and there's nothing about the meters that because We Energies owns your power meter.
Okay.
And so there's nothing about the power meter that would suggest that they have shut the power off.
Okay.
Because they just do it by remote control.
Okay.
You just call. You can call them and have them shut it off or
Okay.
turn it on, and it takes like a minute. They
Wow.
pretend like it's a big deal,
Sure.
but it's just somebody typing on a computer somewhere.
Okay.
It's super easy.
Okay.
I've had to do it plenty of times.
Okay.
So then I'm like, okay, well, that's weird because there's nothing wrong with that. I go around to the front of the house, and we leave the outside lights on for the house. And I notice the outside lights are off.
Okay.
So now I'm like, okay, well, now we got two power-related things going
Sure.
on. And that house is old. The electricity,
yeah.
we've talked about electricity on this podcast quite a bit. Because that is, one of the main ways that houses burn down in our neighborhood is from electrical fires
And from older electrical
old electrical
cords.
systems. So I'm like, okay, well, what's going on here? So I grab the keys, I go inside, and none of the power's on. And I walk down to the basement, and I don't really notice anything out of place, really.
Yeah.
But I kind of look what would be the back, I guess what you would call the back of the basement, but it's really the front of the house.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because you walk into the basement from the back of the house. And I noticed that one of the basement windows is open, like smashed open.
Okay. And that's like just a glass window?
Yeah, they're like, they're not very big. I mean,
Yeah.
they're only probably 2 feet. I mean, maybe not even, probably like 20 inches tall, 2 feet wide, something like that.
Yeah.
They're not very big, but they are a classic way for people to get into a building.
Sure.
A lot of times it's kind of interesting. It's pretty smart, actually. So whoever was the first person to figure this out, good for you. But you can, if you like break into like the underside of a porch, then you can access these basement windows that are underneath the porch.
No one can see you doing
And nobody
that.
can see you do it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
nobody would know
Yeah.
that it was, like that. And that's, I mean, we've had that happen. Yeah. Accessing a house through the basement window is a pretty common way for somebody to break into a house. So the house that we bought from the slumlord, somebody broke in that way.
Yeah.
The White House on the corner, somebody broke in that way.
Yeah,
The guy that thought he was working there,
Yeah.
Edgar, broke in that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, pretty common way for not unintelligent, I shouldn't say that. Pretty common way for thieving individuals
Sure.
to get into your building.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is through the basement. It's probably one of the easiest ways.
Okay. Okay.
Those
And you
windows
just, like-
aren't real strong.
And you just like kick it.
Hey, just kick it.
Yeah. I noticed ours in our basement because after this happened, I was like, "How are our windows in our basement?"
Not great.
But they have bars on them.
They do. Yeah.
Did they have bars over
No,
next door?
I didn't put those bars on. They came
yeah.
with the house. But
okay, just curious.
yeah, that would be an option. You could do
Does
that.
the bar like I was thinking like is this bar actually like attached to the house or is this bar attached to the window?
I don't know.
Could you just kick in the bar? Like yeah. So
You could kick it in the bar. Sure. Glass block is a good solution. You glass block the windows, but the
Okay.
glass block windows are each like $120, and it takes
very
like
heavy.
They're very heavy.
Yeah.
It takes like 2 hours to put one in.
okay.
I'm considering
Yeah.
on the garden house putting in glass block windows.
Okay.
Definitely after this, considering it more.
Okay. So you go down to the basement.
So I go down to the basement.
You see that
It's
window.
obviously that it's been broken into, and I go to the electrical panels.
Yeah.
And I noticed, because I got my flashlight on my phone, and I noticed that all of the covers on the panels are off.
Okay.
If you're a listener and you haven't like looked inside of your electrical panel in a while,
Yeah, I haven't.
well, there's a cover, and
Okay.
that's so that you can't like touch the
Like, is that where you like switch on and off if like something goes out?
yeah the breakers.
The breaker.
Yeah,
Is
so
the
you
breaker
can
the cover?
access the front of the breaker.
Okay. So the cover, there's a cover, and then there's the breaker. You go inside, and then there's the breaker.
Well, yeah, sure. There's a door you open,
Okay, there's the door. Okay.
but the door is part of the cover.
Okay. Okay.
So when you're working on the panel, you unscrew the cover,
Okay.
which again contains the door,
Okay.
so that you can access what's inside of the panel.
Okay.
And so that you can, hook up the wires. If a breaker goes bad, you can pull the breaker off.
Okay.
If you're putting in the panel for the first time,
Yeah.
you got to get in there to put the
Yeah.
wires in.
Yeah.
So I got the panels off, all the time. Panels are always coming off.
Okay. In
It's-
a good way? Or?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Like when we did the bathroom upstairs and I ran some new power,
Okay.
I had to take the cover off.
Yeah.
So I could run the new wire, hook
Okay.
up the new wires that were run into the panel.
Okay.
Whatever. You don't care.
Now it's just getting boring. Sure.
Sure, this is breaker coverage.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I noticed, okay, the covers are off, and so then the breakers are exposed, and the wires that were in there, at least to my knowledge, were in there, are no longer in there. So they've been cut out.
Okay. So how much wire are we talking about here?
Well, so then I kind of look around and see, like, well, what else?
Like, are they like pulling all the wire down from other places?
So this house, some of the electrical work in this house was a little bit newer.
Okay.
So like in the 50s.
Oh, it's
Or
but it's still
60s.
very. I mean,
Still
very
pretty old.
Yeah.
And some of that stuff then was running pipe.
Okay.
And that, so that stuff's okay.
Okay.
And that's like a little bit closer to what's used nowadays.
Okay.
And so it's made out of copper. And copper is
Okay.
pretty valuable. Copper, I don't know what it is a pound, probably $1 a pound, something like that.
Okay.
But honestly, it can't be, and I'll kind of explain how I kind of arrived at this conclusion in a minute, but the amount of wire that you asked that question,
Yeah.
maybe 100 feet total.
So 5 pounds.
So yeah, maybe.
So
yeah.
$5. $5 worth of copper.
Well, I don't have a like. I don't know because I didn't take a picture of all the wire that was there. But if I'm guessing,
less than $100.
well, so yeah, so okay, we can get into it.
Yeah.
So when you buy wire now at the store,
Yeah.
a roll of wire, a single wire,
Yeah.
because you can buy wire that's like in 3 wires or
Mm-hmm.
4 wires, or I think you can buy 5, like all in kind of its own little container.
Okay.
But say you want to buy a roll of wire.
Yeah.
Roll of wire is 500 feet.
Okay.
Standard
Yeah.
roll, and that standard roll of wire is $100.
Okay.
So you could get 500 feet for $100.
Okay.
So, and that's like wire that is new in a package,
Yeah.
and so that is wire that is worth like that $100 roll of wire is worth more than the scrap value of the copper that's in the wire, right? Because you couldn't sell a roll of wire, like you couldn't take that $100 roll of wire, bring it to the scrapyard, and get $200.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make sense because everybody would just go
Yeah.
to Menards and buy all the wire
Yeah.
and scrap
Mhm. Yeah.
it. Okay, so you're talking about less than,
Yeah.
for that roll of wire,
Mhm.
less than $100.
And how long would it take somebody to take all that?
Well, I think you want to get in and you want to get out.
Okay.
So I don't know, 20 minutes.
Okay.
You
I'm
know,
just curious.
not a long
Not
term.
an 8 hour.
No one's
Okay.
putting in an 8-hour
Okay.
shift
Okay.
pulling wire out of
Sure.
places.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm gonna say that, if they got out with $50, they're
Yeah.
very lucky.
Okay. Another question. How did they not get electrocuted?
Well, this individual is pretty decent
Yeah.
at it.
Okay.
You turn the main breaker off.
Yeah.
And so then the only thing that has, the only thing that's live
Yeah.
that you can't touch is kind of like the connection going into that main
Okay.
breaker.
Okay.
You can also cut all the wires and not get electrocuted.
Okay.
You can do that.
You could
But
you could literally cut them and you wouldn't get
one at a time, yes.
Okay. Okay. That's
Yeah,
good.
don't cut 2 at a time. Just
Okay.
cut 1 at a time.
Okay.
But if you cut 1 at a time, you can.
Okay.
So, so that, so noticing, okay, well, that happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, all for, again, $50, worth
Yeah.
of wire.
Yeah.
They also took the water meter, which is just annoying. Because then you got to like make up a new connection for it.
Okay.
So
is the water meter something that like the water? Should we get into the water people now that we've already gotten into
No,
the
it's
energies?
No, the water ones. I still kind of wonder about that, but
Oh my gosh, you're all conspiracy theories.
no, it's not a conspiracy. It's just that if I call them and tell them I am using 0 gallons of water, this house is being worked on. There's no water.
Yeah.
Shut my water
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
You still get charged for the water. They're still going to charge you for it.
Okay.
So,
Sure.
which I guess I understand. I mean, they're going to produce water regardless of if we use the water.
Yeah.
So it's fine. I get it.
Yeah.
It's just not. I don't love.
It's not like you're going into a grocery store and buying things and then you're paying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You
I
just
get
get
that.
charged for it because it's a part of the house. Well, then just don't.
Sure.
Just
Okay.
charge me for it anyway.
So that got taken as well.
Yeah, and that's just obnoxious again because it's. I mean, all of it is obnoxious, and in fact, that's kind of like the thing I think I want to touch on here is. So, Meg, we had recently, and I guess, and I think one of the, well, yeah, because this would have been right around the time where we had the tornadoes. Mm-hmm. Remember the tornadoes?
Yeah.
First time I had ever heard the tornado sirens.
Yeah, 2 times in 1 week. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're like just into the tornado siren now. Do you think they're just doing it more? Like, do you think that we actually, for the first time ever, had an event in 20 years that we were at the house and could hear the sirens that we had an event, or are they just doing the sirens more often now?
I think, you want my personal opinion, I think global warming has made it so that there is more severe weather.
Okay.
And I think there hasn't been a lot of severe weather, and there's clearly been more severe weather within the last 5 years. So to answer your question, I think that I work from home. I do hear the sirens every Wednesday at noon. So I know I can hear the sirens because that's when they test them.
Okay.
And I think maybe in the 20 years of living here, I think I've probably heard them. I've maybe heard them once or twice other than this last week. Okay. So to answer your question, I think we haven't had a lot of severe weather, and we have not had a touchdown of a tornado in Milwaukee County in a while. I also remember when May was little, she was really, really scared of tornadoes. And May is the type of person who if she gets the information, she will feel better about the situation. So I made her research when was the last tornado in Milwaukee, and the last, and this was when she was 6. The last, 6 or 7.
Okay.
The last one had happened in 1948 or something. So I don't think there's been a lot. I think the lake also affects. Now this is a podcast about weather and tornadoes. So to answer your question, I think we have not heard one. We have not heard one at least a lot.
So you believe that there's more severe weather.
Yes.
And that's why the siren went off. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know which one. I don't really care.
All right. You don't want to debate.
No, I definitely don't want to debate you on this.
Okay. So,
but
tornadoes.
So it was around the time of the tornadoes.
Yeah.
And if you're, the tornadoes weren't in Milwaukee. I don't believe they were in Milwaukee County. I think they were.
They were.
Okay.
They touched down by the airport, I think.
Oh, okay.
And then I think there's one up close to Menominee.
Oh, I guess I'm thinking city of Milwaukee.
Yes, Milwaukee County. It's a county-wide. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. There are people that had a tornado near their house.
Yeah.
Right? And because of that had probably likely damage to something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or it was very windy and they got,
yeah,
a tree fell down, something, whatever. I know because we do a lot of, for work, we do a lot of basements.
Sure.
And so I'm at least mildly curious, how was your basement?
How were the basements doing? Yeah.
How are the basements doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've talked to many people, back in August, we had the floods, the big floods.
Mm-hmm.
People call them the floods.
Yeah. But there was just floods last week too.
Sure.
There's been more severe weather.
All right. But the floods, if your basement flooded, that is, I don't know if it's as much of an inconvenience as this the wire snatcher.
Wire snatcher. Yes, I like that.
I don't know. So this wire snatcher is going to make me have to do, I could probably do it in an 8-hour day.
Okay.
Get it put back to how
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah.
rerun a bunch of stuff,
Yeah.
figure out what goes where,
Yeah.
and feel good about it. Probably an 8-hour day. So this wire snatcher cost me 8 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's kind of honestly like the crazy driver that cost me about that much time taking the truck back and forth, and
Yeah.
well, probably
Yeah.
a little more because I had to pay the deductible on the
Yeah.
car accident.
Yeah.
But like when I think about that house getting broken into, and it's a little bit different than our house getting broken into, but
Yeah.
when I think about that house or just other stuff that happens in the neighborhood, I kind of think about it the same way that I think I would think about it if our basement flooded,
Okay.
or if maybe you lived on a farm and you hit a cow with your car or something. I don't know.
You hit a cow.
I don't know what happens on farms. Your cow. Well, I watch Yellowstone.
Your water.
Your well.
Your well goes
Okay,
dry.
your well
Or
goes dry.
Something happens with your well.
Whatever. Your septic tank blows up,
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
your goats start eating each other. Whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think about it the same way. Like
Okay.
it's detached from this bad guy. I'm assuming I guess we could have female wire snatchers.
Sure.
Maybe that was sexist of me.
Maybe it was. Yeah. Maybe you should think that twice. Yeah.
A gender neutral
Yeah.
wire snatcher.
Yeah.
But I think about it the same way, right? Like I think okay, well that is just a thing that happened because I am in proximity to people that have wire snatching as an option, and not even like a good option. I mean, when you think about this like wire snatching ordeal, so say you're in there for 20 minutes, it's risky.
Yeah.
You're like climbing into somebody's. I mean, you could get electrocuted. You're probably not like in the greatest. You're probably not a high functioning individual because if you were, you just go get a job.
Yeah.
Or you wouldn't break into people's houses and steal an inconsequential amount of wire.
Can we get into that a little bit?
Sure.
Because like right behind the wire is all of the lawnmowers for We Got This.
Yeah. Well, and also, like we're still recording podcasts.
They didn't steal our podcast stuff.
So like the podcast stuff, I mean, that's by far the most valuable
They had
thing.
to walk by it.
Sure. Yeah. So
I think like that's what I wanted to say too. Like I think when I think of, we have had several of the houses we own get broken into, and like I think 20 years ago when I used to think of somebody who would break into a house, I would think of this bad guy.
Or somebody that's like really, I don't want to like just make it sound so basic, but like somebody who's smart.
Yeah.
Or not like really.
Yeah.
And I don't like saying bad things about people from our neighborhood, but just not high functioning.
Cognitively.
Right.
Not, yeah.
Like all there with it.
Yeah. And so
like if you're going to walk past
yeah,
probably 30 lawnmowers
yeah,
and you're not going to take like one lawnmower is worth more than
at least $25 a used lawnmower.
Right.
Like
so
least
take two out the front door.
Yeah.
And not that I want the lawnmowers to get taken.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to get taken. I don't want anybody in the houses or anything. But
yeah.
you start thinking about it like, okay, this person has so little capacity.
Yeah.
Based on their decisions, I'm
Yeah.
like just made very bad decisions,
Yeah.
which really makes me wonder about the mental capacity of this individual.
Yeah.
Which then makes me think, well, it's probably pretty challenging to hate somebody that is just like either so and however it got to be that way, whether that was just whatever that has always been that way, or through serious drug use became that way, or whatever.
But like the last 3 times the houses that we own have been broken into, it has been people who have been cognitively delayed or have some sort of mental health issues.
Right.
So I find that to be really interesting because, again, when I think back of like, oh, who's breaking into these houses, I think of like cartoons, or you think of like stuff you've seen on movies. You think of this bad guy.
Like the guy from Ocean's 11. like it's somebody that's got like a master plan.
Yeah.
And it's like, but they're not like master plans here. It's like, I need whatever.
$30.
I need money for whatever the thing you need the money for. And not even the easiest way. One way that you can get it is to break into a house that you may not even know is occupied or unoccupied.
Yeah.
I think that house looks, if you had to say if it looked occupied or unoccupied, I'd probably say it looks unoccupied.
Yeah.
I would like it to look like it's occupied.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. So, I mean, I guess a good house to go. But again, like if you took 5 minutes and looked around, you'd find many other things.
All of my bins of dahlias. How much are those worth?
Yeah, God, don't get me started on that. But
so many bins.
But I think, and Meg, we're getting short on time here.
Yeah.
And I had some thoughts that I haven't quite gotten to yet. So maybe we'll touch on this topic on a different day. But I think that was one of the big things I wanted to just make sure that we touched on was that this isn't criminal masterminds.
Yeah.
This is honestly, when I talked, we're doing this basement in Wauwatosa, we're just finishing up, and we put a bathroom in it.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't repair any of the flood damage, but as a part of the, whatever, the guy wanted a bathroom in his basement. It's great. Put a bathroom in your basement.
Great.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
But like, could I tell you why his basement flooded the time that it flooded? No, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
You can take a guess.
Yeah.
Maybe it sits a little lower.
Sure.
Maybe they dumped too much sewage in the out of the tunnel or something.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it just happened.
Mm-hmm.
So things happen.
Yeah.
It happened.
Yeah.
It's very similar. I think my response to the situation with the house next door to us is very similar to that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my basement flooded.
Mm-hmm.
A tree fell on my garage.
Yeah.
It's
the
same kinds of things.
Yeah.
It just a random incident that happened. That's not because I wouldn't be angry at the pipes.
Sure.
For
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to be angry at the guy that flipped the switch and said we can't keep sending the water in the tunnel.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
or,
think it's a guy. I think it's like an overflow.
Sure, it could be a girl.
Yeah, but it's.
But I'm sure somebody switches a button or something. Whatever.
I think it's just. I think it's an overflow. Okay. Like it can't. I don't know. I'd love to go and find out, but I don't know.
I would like to go down in the tunnels.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, but I have the same feelings about that. I look at it more like that than I do.
Yeah.
Someone's out to get.
The
wire snatcher's out to get me.
And I think like that's also like what I wanted to say too was that people who live around here, like they're just looking for their best option, and sometimes their best option isn't maybe what we would think we wouldn't think our best option is. Yeah, and I think like when we think of somebody breaking into somewhere, we think of a bad person, and I'm not saying that this person didn't cause a lot of annoyance to specifically
it's really
you.
Obnoxious cause
but they're not a bad person. They're just clearly uneducated and not, they don't have the cognitive.
Yeah, because I worked in schools for a long time. We should wrap up here in a second, Meg. I worked in schools a long time, and at some point I realized, every adult used to be like these young people.
Yeah.
And none of these young people had it in their head that, I think when I'm, let's just put an age on it, 42, that when I'm 42, I think I'm going to want to break into houses that I think might be empty and go through the trouble of taking less than $50 worth of wire so that I, whatever. That nobody thinks, you ask kids what do they want to be when they grow up. Nobody says that they want to be the wire snatcher.
No one. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that's insane. Because nobody would ever want to live that way.
Yeah.
And, okay, well, there's people that live that way. And I'm thankful that I don't live that way.
Yeah.
And if I can't get mad at the tree for falling on my garage, I probably can't get mad at, the wire snatcher.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what the wire snatcher is, but.
I wanted to ask, because I feel like we have had several podcasts about break-ins. Did you talk about break-ins in your book, Bad Neighborhoods?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I just wanted to say, like, if you wanted to hear some more about the break-ins that have happened in our houses, they're always interesting stories, and Bad Neighborhoods can be found on Spotify, Apple, all the things.
Oh yeah, if you want an actual copy
Yeah.
of it, just
or
reach out at contact@wegotthismke.com and we'll just give you one.
Yeah. But it's a really good book.
Or you can buy it on Amazon. But.
I would recommend it. If we're talking about plugging things, I did want to plug. So we got this community garden. I feel like if you're a new listener, we really jumped in, and I apologize. That we did not give any background. So maybe listen to another one to hear a little bit of background about why we do this podcast. But we got this community garden is an incredible community garden that me and Alex help with, and Weber's greenhouse actually supports a lot of the plants. And so right now you can go to webersgreenhouse.org and you can buy plants that will be planted in 53206 through the We Got This program. So you can either go to wegotThisMKE.org or webersgreenhouse.org and buy those plants. And we are excited. Last year, I would say 80% of all the plants that were planted at the 15 formerly vacant lots turned into garden spaces were from Weber's. So they did a great job. They have great plants too. They open on May 2nd, and I would say go there if you're in the Milwaukee area because they're incredible. You can buy so many. As a gardener, you want some good starter plants. You want a little, you're gonna plant some from seed, but you want to get a jump on tomatoes and peppers and greens. So go there if you need any of those things.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time.
Bye.